my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies. All right. Oh, I'm so resistant to this read. I don't know why, because it's relatively positive. However, it's like portentous, right? It is purpose laden, and it's a big download, and it's just like, I don't want to deal with it. Even though it's good, I'm just like, it's a lot, it's very big, and I just kind of want to get the read over with. So there are two portions to this, and I'm going to go over this channeled information first. If I need to refer to my notes, I will. I don't think I will, though. So for the first portion of this is dealing with waves of awakening that are going to be going on. Now, this is continually going on, but for some reason, this is relevant to the collective in that, you know, in the coming years, decades, whatever, people are going to be experiencing their first awakenings, second, third, fourth. However, like, this is a continuous process. We are always coming into greater awareness and expansion. So, you know, you never stop waking up. But some people are going to be going through their first awakenings, and you know, that can be fairly traumatic. Most awakenings are, but the first one, you know, a lot of people tend to think that they're entering some form of psychosis. Psychosis is very different from spiritual awakening. Mystical experience is also extremely different from psychosis or drug-induced hallucination. They're very, very different, though I do believe that valid mystical experience can be facilitated by or triggered by substances. But they're very different. They're very different experiences. They have a different energy and texture, so I question some of that stuff. So with these awakenings, how they're going to be affecting the collective, well, the collective, and this is only if you know you have been called to this and have been putting it off, or you're having doubts, whatever. You need to become more public about your beliefs, about your spirituality, no matter what form that takes. I don't know why, but I'm sometimes addressing like devout Christians on this channel. If you are a devout Christian, you need to speak on that. If you are a member of Islam, if you're a Sikh or something, you need to become more public about that if you have been called to do so. Also, if you are a magical person, if you are involved in a specific occult practice that can be discussed publicly. All of that stuff, but especially people are being called to speak about things that haven't been spoken about yet. So this is especially going to apply to the collective who have new takes on old information or just completely new information, period, especially if it pertains to manifestation. We are already beyond the law of attraction and Neville Goddard. Like, some of that stuff will remain perennial and relevant. There's a lot of it that is not. We are done with it. We have already moved out of it, but you know, the world takes a long time to catch up to the energy. This collective is on like the outer edge, and a lot of the bulk of the people are going to be behind this collective. This is the collective that is going to be making headway. Like, the next philosophical advancements, artistic advancements, spiritual advancements, magical advancements, manifestation advancements, they are going to come from this collective. And therefore, this collective is going to have to be dealing with a lot of criticism and a lot of people trying to tear them down because, you know, the Bible dies hard, the Quran dies hard, the law of attraction dies hard, Hermeticism dies hard, Thelema dies hard, Solomonic magic dies hard, chaos magic dies hard. There's a lot of golden calving of things. And here's the thing, because I'm actually going to read from this, here's my Bible. I enjoy this Bible. Not everything in this Bible pertains to something I should be doing today. In fact, a lot of it doesn't. There's some very great things in here, but it would be a mistake for me to venerate this, to believe that this way of speaking and some of the practices that are inherent to this apply to everyone. They don't. And that does not mean that I'm right and someone else is wrong. It simply doesn't apply to them. They need to take an entirely other direction. And so it's stuff like that. The law, that's what I'm saying, there's no law, like the 10 Commandments, those are guidelines. The 10 Commandments are guidelines. There is no such thing, in my opinion, as a hard and fast law. It is not that black and white. And so I tend to not speak on laws. I tend to speak on states and spectrums. And so there's going to be a lot of rejection on this collective because you are going to be challenging the status quo with whatever it is that you're talking about. And I know, like, you would assume, like, oh, well, the New Age people, the magical community, we're not going to have that problem there. Yes, you absolutely will. There's just a lot of entrenched crap everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter how avant-garde or taboo the practice. You're going to be dealing with people who think that if it's satanic, it's going to look a specific way. If it's Christian, it's going to be looking a specific way. If it's witchcraft, it's going to be looking a specific way, and it's just not true. So if you know that you have very, very different ideas than what has gone before, if you are breaking from law of attraction-based manifestation, start talking about it. If you've been called to reading or doing something very publicly on a platform, wherever, please start. If you have not, I don't care if you are starting from zero. I don't care if you think that no one's going to listen to you. No one will listen to you if you never speak. Okay? And there is valor in simply doing the thing unrecognized. That is highly satanic and highly honorable. Doing something that is true, which will never succeed, which will never be recognized, and yet it is the truth, and yet it is your purpose, and so you will do it. Okay? So there's that aspect. Part of this becoming more public about whatever it is that you're doing or whatever it is that you're saying is that as people are having their first awakenings or however many awakenings, a lot of people feel very alone and frightened during that process. If they know that you are being public in some sort of way, it is likely they are going to have some sort of touchstone, and that might just come from viewing whatever content that you are producing publicly. Though if someone in your personal life or within your material environment knows that you are public about spirituality or that you practice a certain thing, even if they are not going to be practicing what you are practicing, they might go through an awakening and they might in private talk to you about that because they don't know what's going on. So it's sort of like, if you know that you are able to be stable in that and help other people, that's why you're being called to be more public. Okay? It's not about like trying to draw attention to yourself. It's just that these things are going to organically happen and people are going to need more energetic support for their awakening process. And so even if you are very like loudly Luciferian or whatever, that needs to occur because someone could wake up and sort of latch on to you for a time, come to the understanding that they need to be a mystical Christian. And so no, they are never going to be a Luciferian, but nonetheless, you will have helped them towards their authenticity. Likewise, there are people who are going to realize within the Christian community that they are actually Luciferian. And so, all that kind of stuff happens. And what I would say about that is if you are having a particular awakening that you are leaving one practice for another, that does not mean that you have wasted your time. It does not mean that that practice was wrong for you or for anyone else. It is simply your time to move away from that practice and into whatever it is that is the new incarnation of your authenticity, because truth is actually ever evolving. It is not one static thing other than the fact that it is the truth. That's it. So that is the great waves of awakenings that are going to be happening, and that is very normal and will continue to happen until the end of all time. Hallelujah, yay, it's all over. We can pack it up and start again. So that's that portion, and I'm not going to pull any cards on that. This next part, I am going to pull cards on. So, this next part. Probably these things are related to each other, but there are also going to be incoming waves of partnership happening. These are not all romantic partnerships. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But they are purpose-aligned partnerships. And here's what and it's just like, oh, don't, because I feel like people are going to get excited about that. Oh, like my partner's coming in and blah, blah, blah. Like, don't get too happy about that. Here's why. These partnerships are requiring like a large amount of labor. The reason why these partnerships are going to be coming in is because these partnerships are bringing through rather large manifestations. I don't know what the manifestations are, but they are significant for y'all and for some sort of communities that y'all are going to be serving, okay? And so like these aren't, when I say self-serving partnership, like a lot of the time, and it's fine, like if it's a romantic partnership, you delight in having a romantic partner. Yes, if it's a romantic partnership, there will be that joy, but this is largely about work. Work that you are going to be doing together and work that you're going to be doing for other people. And yes, that is like intimacy work with each other, but it's going to be painful is what I'm saying. Like intimacy work, when we think of romantic partners, a lot of people like get stuck in that like honeymoon butterfly phase. A real partnership is about building intimacy, and you don't get out of conflict and pain with that. And there's some like, I want to draw a parallel to the sexual experience. The sexual experience has a certain amount of pain involved with it, or discomfort, that opens up into joy and ecstasy, right? And that is the same thing with yoga. You are experiencing discomfort that gradually opens you up into the manifestation of the pose or the divine union, okay? It has to do with that. And so this isn't like, yay, we're gonna be running around and like getting flowers and like jewelry and like, I'm sure there will be some element of that during the courtship phase if it's a romantic partnership, but these are like weighty things. And so I would say if you are more wanting to like delight in love, like that kind of more like bubbly, ephemeral, like love, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't know that this is your read, okay? This is more for the people who are like, fuck, I have a purpose and like, I know I am going to be living in my purpose, and that like, it's more for those sorts of people, okay? So there's 3 types. I know there are 3 types in general of these partnerships that are coming in. And likely what I'm thinking, I could be wrong because the cards will correct me as I'm pulling them out. It is likely that there is going to be more of a traditional romantic type of partnership that is purpose aligned. And when I mean traditional, it will be like a cishet man and a cishet woman coming together romantically, like in a traditional marriage. But this could also be queer partnerships that are still like very strongly on a binary, right? So you might have like a bisexual couple that is still like straight passing, or you could have like 2 men or 2 women, but one is very more strongly filling like one gender role. And even though it's a queer relationship, it still looks extremely traditional and could perhaps even have conservative values. Okay, it happens. So there's that. And then there are I want to say, like, it's not traditional, but it's like a partnership between like two people that I don't know is romantic. It could just be a business or a creative partnership that maybe will develop later on into something else, but that is not like the primary purpose, right? We have that. So there's like the strongly romantic one, the one where it's kind of like, I don't know, it might develop that way, but it's certainly not going to start that way. It's more about the work. And then there is like a completely like non-traditional partnership. And that's going to look a lot of different ways, but to me, this is very much involving like thruples, people who are more polyamorous, or like people who are developing some sort of like free love commune where you're like off the grid and like, I don't know, raising your own food, and like you're like, there are partnerships maybe of twos, but it's all very like amorphous, and like it is not at all traditional is what I'm saying. Like, and that involves a high level of communication and maturity and all kinds of stuff for that to stay together and not devolve into like dysfunction and like radical like weird stuff happening, right? That's very hard to do, that's very complex. Nonetheless, it will likely be coming into being in some sort of way. And there's also some sort of like, a lot of creative projects are going to be coming out of these specific groups that are very, very radical, but it's almost sort of like they're rising and falling. It's like it's meant to, none of it is really meant to stay, is what I'm saying. Like it's a permanent impermanence thing. Like the things that you're going, like the group is like kind of strongly tied together, but it's almost like the things that you are creating are meant to exist over a certain period of time, and then they're meant to dissolve. So it's kind of like, I don't know. For those of you who understand what I'm talking about and who will be over here, like, you get it, okay? That's just very, very, like, far from what I would be engaging with. So while I very much sense the energy, it's more challenging for me to bring through. Not because I don't like it, but just because like I'm trying to describe how that would work, and I'm kind of like, well, how the fuck? And I'm like, oh, it's because that I'm more over here. I'm more over here on the spectrum, and even though I appreciate what's going on over here on the spectrum and respect it, it's not how I would tend to operate, at least not initially. So, and then I didn't realize that there is this complete other fourth thing. The fourth thing that I will tell you about is the most challenging thing. It's what I'm going to read from the ancient Jedi texts about. This fourth thing is the most challenging relationship. It is the one that is most fraught. It is also the one that is potentially the most profitable. And I don't mean monetarily necessarily, but it has the most potential for radical energetic change going on, providing the most fruit on like healing and other things. The reason why being that it is so, it would be very challenging for these unions to take place. And because of the challenge of that union, if it did come together, it would release an intense amount of transformative energy, is what I'm saying. And these are the past people. The past people, as I was meditating today, I knew I was going to do this big download read, okay? And I thought it was just going to be these three. Like this, because this download came in a couple of days ago, right? And I was like, okay, and there's these three, and I get it. And then I was meditating and it was like, I was like, oh, there's a fourth. There is a closed door, and there are energies, people, a collective of energies is coming in like right here, is very tingling, insistent, agitated energy wanting to come in. That door is closed as of now. So if you are listening to this and resonating with it, it is not likely that you would experience at this point any physical manifestations from these people, whoever they are. They could contact you energetically, through a read, through a dream, through music, whatever. because what I was getting, I could see like these people like banging against the closed door, and it's like they're trying to slip messages underneath that door. Any physical manifestation that you would receive from these people, it would likely only come in energetically, and the most like physical energy can get is like through a text message or an email. I am hearing though, y'all have these people blocked, so even that would be a challenge. Like they would have to get that in like through, maybe you forgot to block them somewhere, I don't know. But that's the only way this could come in. And even then, only certain communication can come in like via email. Like this is such a narrow passage. That's another reason why these are the most powerful, is because it is the most slim. Like these past people partnerships, this is like 1% of y'all that are going to be dealing with this at all, and it's like 0.5% of you that are going to have a success rate with that. So I'm saying if you do receive a manifestation like this from a past person, even if you choose not to engage with the past person, that is fine. You are going to have other avenues here to do whatever it is that you is purpose aligned with you, right? Like you are not obligated to any sort of past person, no matter that energetic aperture is still somehow like we have some narrow channels open here. I'm just addressing it with you because I need to let you know that for like the 0.5% of you that can handle that successfully, that's very radical. That's very, very radical, and that's also why it's only 0.5%, because you flat out can't have a lot of that energy going on because it's too much. It'll throw off the balance, okay? So what we are going to do is I'm going to get reads on our 3 options, also our 4th option here. And I'm hearing we are starting with the 4th option because it is so narrow, okay? We are not going to devote a lot of time to the past people because there's just more of a percentage that you are not going to be dealing with a past person. What's going on over here is the larger percentage, okay? So yes, no, yes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes. Okay, I knew we were gonna have a lot here. Let's just because I know this in specific is going to be like dedicated to our past people here, and so is these. Okay, just getting everything out and going because I want to clear these past people before we get into devote the majority of our time to the new. And we'll keep that there for now. So this is all right, give this a shuffle. Yes, the past people, like I'm saying, these aren't past people that y'all like. All right, they were either lying to you at some point, or there was a lot of disruption here. There was a lot of disruption, a lot of chaos, a lot of pain. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. All right. It just fell right the hell out. I don't want to look at what is underneath that yet. I will look at what is underneath the deck. Yes, the false people. These are people who you would have felt, I knew pathway was going to come out. People who you would have felt were false people, or people who, like, you just had interference in the connection with there's just a lot of garbage here, all right? A lot of garbage. These people are attempting to return home. We have pathway and house with this gift. It might be a literal gift, but it strikes me more as wanting to renew the connection, though there's probably some material involved in this. The people who you would have the highest success rate of dealing with, these are people who have significantly matured and like whoever they are in despair over what they have done with their former partners. You don't have to be a woman. You could very easily be a man dealing with a woman who was just off the shit at the time, right? And just really ruined things with y'all. But what they know now, unfortunately, is that whatever partnership y'all had, it was the abundant partnership, okay? And there's the message, all right? So, and it is not a mistake that this pathway was left out. I was strongly seeing this, like, as I was thinking about this portion of the message, pathway. You know, for the people who would be coming in for some sort of material manifestation within like the energetic environment, so digitally, right? It's not going to be someone showing up in front of your face, all right? These would be people who have had a long, hard, transformative path, okay? Those are the types of people that we're dealing with. Let me go ahead and get the initial cards out, because I am going to read from the ancient Jedi texts about these people and about yourself if you are choosing to deal with this. Because you're only going to deal with this, I guarantee you, if these past people make themselves known to you some type of way. This is in no way something you would be seeking out, period. All right, yes, the 10, the profitable relationship destroyed by third-party interference, and this person's inability to discern. Whoever they were just not, it's just a no. It's just a no, but this person knows now. What happened here? The idiocity. Oh well. So now I will read from the ancient Jedi text. This is from the book of Obadiah. We will be reading 2 sections of the book. This is what these people would have had to have worked through, okay? The pride of your heart has deceived you, you who dwell in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, who says in his heart, who will bring me down to the ground? Though you mount on high as the eagle, and though your nest is set amongst the stars, I will bring you down from there, says Yahweh. If thieves came to you, if robbers by night, oh, what a disaster awaits you. Wouldn't they only steal until they had enough? If grape pickers came to you, wouldn't they leave some gleaning grapes? How Esau will be ransacked, how his hidden treasures are sought out. All the men of your alliance have brought you on your way, even to the border. The men who were at peace with you have deceived you and prevailed against you. Friends who eat your bread lay a snare under you. There is no understanding in him. That's very much the past energy that you would have been dealing with these people, or this person, whatever, okay? Like, it's just a ridiculous amount of arrogance, believing that they were, or like the shit, like they were so beautiful, or they were so, like, whatever, man. Like, they just thought that they were like the only ticket in town, I don't know, and it caused them to treat people shittily. And Yahweh has just yanked that down, yanked down their place from the stars. That was not a rightful place, though. Yes, every person is a star, and every person is holding that position, that lofty position within the heavens, but not like that. That's the wrong energy, okay? So if that sounds familiar to you, yeah, okay. So now, y'all's energy with these people, whether you are choosing to deal with them or not. Okay, here we go. But don't look down on your brother in the day of his disaster, and don't rejoice over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Don't speak proudly in the day of distress. Don't enter into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Don't look down on their affliction in the day of their calamity, neither seize their wealth on the day of their calamity. Don't stand in the crossroads to cut off those of his who escape. Don't deliver up those of his who remain in the day of distress. For the day of Yahweh is near all the nations. As you have done, it will be done to you. Your deeds will return upon your own head. For as you have drunk on my holy mountain, so all the nations will drink continually. Yes, they will drink, swallow down, and will be as though they had not been. But in Mount Zion, there will be those who escape, and it will be holy. Here's the thing. You're going to know straight up if you are even someone who could potentially deal with one of these people, because that's essentially, don't dance in the end zone. Yes, karma has been meted out. If you are still in celebration of someone's demise, you are not going to be the one who will come into successful union with a past person. That's completely fine. It's just not you. The person who will come into union with a past person is someone who has done a lot of forgiveness work and is still willing to do a lot of painful forgiveness work, okay? Because when they're talking about there will be those who escape, that's why I'm saying that energetic aperture is very narrow. For those who escape, for those who atone, for those who have walked the transformative path like your past people, they will be able to reunite with you and it will be holy. But only if you have that consensual acceptance. And that is not going to be like, oh, it's so wonderful to see everyone again and I'm so happy for what happened to you. It's like, no, probably that's going to be a very rocky negotiation. There's going to be a lot of anger to be dealt with, you're both going to have to sit with a radical amount of pain, is what I'm telling you. If you know you don't want to deal with it, can't deal with it, aren't willing to deal with it, don't worry about it. Skip ahead. You don't need to, is what I'm saying. I'm just saying for people who are, hey Dasa. Das, do you have a message for the past people? Dasa does have a message for the past people. What is it? It's something about anger, about comforting anger, about comforting a temper. And there's something, the first 3 cards on the Angel Answers deck. This is the message. It is likely if you are dealing with the past person, you are going to need help, outside help. You will not be able to have success on your own. And it will be very, very clear whether you can flat out have success or not. It will be clear in the energy. But for those of you, who are going on here, it's like there will be radical success. Like there's something about that. One more I'm seeing within the next few weeks. Okay, if this path is open to you, you will be receiving some sort of communication about it within the next few weeks. If you don't, it's not for you. But likely you are going to need some sort of external help. Likely that is going to be coming from some sort of very, very entrenched and mature spiritual counselor, or someone who has a licensed background in therapy, okay? Like you're not going to be able to negotiate those unions by yourself. There's too much that's happened there, all right? There's too much. The blockages are too significant, okay? So now let's see what's going on in the cards. Well, we have a death, all right? There's that transformation, radical transformation. These people are now awakened to their purpose, all right? So what is the message? Well, so these people have now become people of purpose and action. They are very, very strong. They are very, very determined to come into what they see as, I don't know, the true unions or whatever, the thing that was always the jewel that they could not see at the time, and they are ready to like defend their place. They are ready to defend their like positive role in your life. And I don't mean that, you know, they were positive in the past. I just mean they very much want to show you something different. We will go around one more time. Like, you're gonna have a choice, right? We'll go around one more time, and then I'm hearing we're gonna pull one card for the final of, yes, this person has solidified their own vision. We've got two kings here. The King of Wands is clarified by the King of Diamonds. It's very powerful energy. So this would be apparent to you even within any sort of like email that you get from this person. The energy is going to be undeniable. If it's not, don't worry about it. So the 9, well, it's okay. So if you are this person's person, I'm just saying that. It's just, when I say your person, I don't mean that you are like tied to this individual that is goofy. You are not. I'm just saying you would have dealt with this person. Not that this person belongs to you or that you belong to them. It's goofy. It's goofy. Communication or even thought of this manifesting in your material environment would stress you out. Okay? Like, you just don't, there's a lot of anger there. Okay. And like I said, this is a very, like, the odds of this actually happening are very low. Very low. 7 of Wands, 10 of Swords. It's also this person wanting to put an end to you fighting them. But like I'm saying, it's shaky at best. Like I said, it's 1% of you who will be actually dealing with this, 0.5% of you, perhaps even less, that would be entering a successful union here. All right, so we have one card for like whatever final message, outcome. It's up to you. The Queen of Wands, and the Ace of Swords, whatever is in line with your truth here. And not only your truth, but your own magic, your own will, your own destiny. Linking up with this person is not a requirement. You have multiple options available to you. It is just, this is one of the narrower options. But you're gonna do whatever you decide to do, as long as you are not taking cruel action towards someone else, spiting them, like, just, you don't need it. If you feel the impulse arise in you to be cruel to this person when they contact you or whatever, do not respond. Just simply leave it and walk into the new. Because that, like, the being cruel thing, that's like Lot's wife turning into a pillar of salt. That is the only action here that is like bad action on your part. So if you feel it arise in you, simply don't do it. Simply don't do it, because anyone who approached you from the past would be doing so at least in genuine energy, and for you to take cruel action against them, that will rack up karmic debt on your part, negative karmic debt. So just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't answer the message. It's fine. All right, let me move the Ancient Jedi text here. All right, so we are now going to get information on the 3 versions of these partnerships that are coming in here. And then we will look at, yes, I knew one of them is way more like work-based. We will look at, and of course, the one that I was like, there's going to be multiple people. That's the one that has multiple cards. For whatever reason, all of these partnerships across the board, there's been some interference, some outside interference that have prevented them from like manifesting in the material environment. And until that interference was resolved, they could not come into being. And so after I describe these 3 general energies for partnerships, we are going to look at short-term preparation to enter these partnerships and also long-term, because these are going to be coming in waves. Some waves are going to be very imminent. Like I'm getting like before the end of the year and into the upcoming year. Some of you, that is not going to be the case, and you are going to hit on another wave. So if nothing happens to you like before the end of the year or in 2024, don't think like, oh, it's like never, like you're just going to be doing the long-term preparation. So just be very honest with yourself about what's resonating here. For short term, like I said, y'all are doing work that is impacting the world. So I'm so hungry. All of a sudden, like this is just a lot to pull through, y'all. I don't know. And so now I'm like, oh, so hungry. All right. And then our non-traditional pile I'm betting is over here. Duos. Yes, the death of tradition. And that's not for that pile. I'm just telling you, the type of work that y'all are going to be doing in materiality for community is shifting the nature of reality. It is satanic work in that it is revolutionary work. A death to the old system for something that is entirely new, Page of Pentacles, and very beneficial, okay? And that is going to be met, even if that's the case, y'all know people freaking hate change, okay? They don't want to do it. So part of what's going on with these partnerships is also, it's like, that's home base, right? Y'all are going to be dealing with a lot of likely ridicule, especially if it's the super non-traditional people over here, all right? So you are going to need a safe space, whether that's romantically, creatively, or both. Because you know, the more that something diverges from the mainstream, it is not typically met with open arms. Forgiveness, no need to worry, take action. So like, the forgiveness is something like about just past energy in general. If you are not aligning with any past energies, you're going to do the forgiveness work. Don't worry about it. It's going to leave your energy and you're going to move into the future. Just keep taking the action. It's all going to unfold before you. If you are dealing with the very small amount of you who are dealing with past people, it's going to require a lot of forgiveness. You're going to have to be holding a very, very high vibration of radical acceptance, unconditional love, being able to sit in your own pain, your partner's pain. Remain positive, but wait. Don't go running off like half-cocked or whatever. Because remember, you're going to need community support for some of that. If you're not dealing with past people, you don't need to worry about past people. Just continue the energetic release work. You are going to be dealing with new people, new friendships, blah, 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 whatever. Yes, you're going to be dealing, possibly contending with multiple options, multiple people wanting your attention. Good Lord, I don't know how long this is going to be. I'm going to try to keep this relatively short. Because it's likely this is just the first announcement of this. And these energies will be getting more information on as we continue to go forward. So we will have more in-depth reading on each of these types of partnerships. So we don't need to get super into the details of each one now. That will present itself going forward. This is just like the intro to this stuff. Yes, multiple energies are going to be vying for your attention. Kind of persistently, you are going to have like, this is striking me as like jealous parties, haters. This is the opposition to the work that you are going to be doing, because the work you are going to be doing is radical. You are going to have to move through those towers, okay? Like, you cannot let that stop you. But like, there's something about investment, well, obviously investment, but it's like, you can't abandon your energetic investment with this work. You have to stay strong in it to watch it develop into the joy that you want to see. These new communities, these new ways of being, these new ways of thinking, these new systems, okay? Because like I said, this channel, I know we're doing fun little reads and things like that, and I'm just sitting at a little table in my silly little room on my little tiny YouTube, but ultimately the energy that we are holding is for total human liberation. That's an entirely different thought process than where we are, and an entirely different system. And while we may not reach total human liberation in my lifetime, we can make another significant stride. And also, regardless of whether it is like a very, very long-term dream of the unfolding generations before us, someone has to hold the energy of total human liberation. A lot of us do. So even if we do not see the fruition of that in our lifetimes, that doesn't mean we dismiss the energy. We keep that energy alive and keep moving towards it incrementally. All right, so let's look at our first partnerships. Here we have for some of y'all, I'm going to read this two ways. We have the Ace of Swords, Peaceful Resolution, Family Room, and the Nine of Coins. For this particular more traditional partnership, Family Room, this will be coming at a time, obviously, when you're single, but it would also be at a point where you are comfortable with whatever you are. You feel confident in your singledom, and you would likely be at peace with being like single forever. That would be a fine option for you, even if you would be open to a relationship. So you are very comfortable, very confident, and likely for you to be on the most recent wave, you would be living in some sort of version of what you are thinking your purpose is right now. You would be living in your truth, okay? And I'm going to pull clarifiers on this, because if this is a new person, it would be a mystery to you who this person is at the moment. If they are in your environment, they would not have announced themselves to you, or they might not be in your environment yet. It is possible you will be receiving a message from this person, though, because of this bird right here, like landing on the hand. If this is a past person, you will come into peaceful resolution with them, okay? If this is a new person, this is going to be happening very organically. There is nothing you very much have to do, but be yourself and do whatever it is that you want to do. And it's going to unfold. So you don't need to get on a dating app. You don't, like, there's nothing for you to do other than what you are called to do. All right, so let me get the clarifiers here. Yes. And then the yes. So there is the Emperor, the emotionally available Emperor. Like I'm saying, this is the more traditional pile. So we're in very, very like heteronormative. Like For the feminine energy, the reason why this is going on is because you are going to be allowing this person to take the lead. But they are going to be doing so from a mature and emotionally available space. This is not some sort of commandeering a-hole. This is someone who is worthy of the title leader, protector, provider, okay? So that's why y'all are in this more receptive energy. It's not that you aren't going to take action elsewhere, but the nature of the relationship is more like strongly aligned with that heteronormative stuff. All right, so there he is, ready to give to this partnership. And it's very serious. And this person, like, they've come to this place over like past desolations or whatever. If that's a past person, they know now and they're willing to take action from a different place. Or this is simply a person, obviously, who has a past. You do not get to be the Emperor, King of Cups, without a lot of experience, okay? So there is the partner. Let's see what is going on. There they are, coming to talk to you, making their presence known materially. All right. And if this is a past person, they are radically transformed. If this is a new person, this is radically going to transform your like current mode of being. What I get is that this is like there's almost going to be no question of who this person is. Like I get things going kind of fast, but only because it's very, very certain. Like this isn't like love bombing or anything. Like I said, it's certain. Like there's like this intuitive knowing that y'all have. Like the energy is going to be very clear. All right. But also it's going to be set by the man or the masculine energy. Okay. Interference. What is this? There's something going on here. And I'm getting it more as other people. Oh, it's, like I said, there's going to be some form of like jealousy or anger about this. It's not going to affect like the union at all. It's just like, it's present. It's present in the energy for some reason. But it is not going to affect, like it's just not gonna, it's not gonna do anything. It's just present is what I'm saying. And that's also gonna be why y'all need to be each other's safe space. We will have likely more, I'm just telling y'all, that's what's up. That's what's up with that. That's what's up with our traditional little pile. Likely we are going to be having more messages about that as we go on. So we're going to try and get through. Like this one is like, I don't know that y'all are going to be romantically involved, but there's some sort of business or creative project that needs to come through here. And likely that will be up to y'all as you work together. Meditation brings answers and it's up to you. But the predominant thing here is the work that you are doing. There's some sort of work here that has been blocked, that has been met with a heavy amount of resistance. It's something that you very much want to fight for, but it almost feels like you're exhausted at this point, or this other person is. If you know that you're like I've been working, I've been nothing but blocked, I'm exhausted by this person is coming in to help you. They are going to break through this blockage, whatever it is. You do need this person's assistance in order to bring this project through. Let me go ahead and get some on this Ace of Cups and also on this communication. And then we will simply move forward. Because like I said, this is something about creative work. Yes, it's something that wants to come into fruition. You are likely, you've been gestating, but there's like a system that you don't have that this person is associated with. There is some sort of system that you need to be in touch with to bring this through. You are not in touch with it yet. And there is something about this system that's like bad. Like it's almost like you do not want to navigate this system by yourself, because whatever system it is a system of betrayal and deception. Nonetheless, it is necessary. And so you need an advocate. You need someone who understands this system, or else it will simply eat you alive and your project and your little dog too. So that's why you have experienced the rejection, the no, the blockage, because for some reason you needed this person. So let's see what this communication is. Well, it's going to change your life. Whatever it is, change your singledom as well, because there's the union. There's the very, very fruitful union. And like I said, there's like a system involved here. Like I'm getting like advanced, like there's money, like I don't know. Good Lord. Whatever it is, it's profitable, and there is the potential for romance here, though that never needs to come into fruition for whatever work you need to bring through that's going to be of benefit to yourself and others. What I'm getting is that this is more in line with these the big manifestation is coming in and it's attached to a person. There is someone or something that this person has been looking for, the ideal candidate, and everyone who they've been talking to or looking at has been a disappointment for them. They're ready to give up the ghost, and then, aha, there is their person, there you are, and they're like are going to want to rush in and talk to you. That's why. Yes, whatever this person has been trying to do, like they've been running into the same like disappointments and blockages for this manifestation because they need you. They are not going to be able to have it work with anyone else. Okay, so that's what's going on here. We already have a lot of reads on this particular style of relationship. Whenever you see something like big manifestation going through, like on the channel, we already have reads on that. So if you would like to be in that energy more, if you feel it would be beneficial for your manifestation process, go ahead and check out those reads. But I'm sure we will be getting more of them as we go into the future. All right, so for our very non-traditional people, yes, we have multiple parties here. We have the Three of Cups. We have helpful people. There's something better. This is likely, maybe you're someone who the tradition does not, like now, traditional shit does not work for you. But perhaps you have not ever had experience with a throuple, polyamory, ethical non-monogamy, something else, but you are thinking that is what's going to work for you. And likely you are correct, because there's just something that hasn't been working for you. There's something that hasn't been working for you. Let's see here. Let's get some, it's likely tradition. Yeah, you're leaving it. You are leaving behind the ancient ways, the heteronormativity for multiple people. These are either multiple options, multiple creative partners. Like it's like your happiness is within this non-traditional thing, however that's manifesting. Yes, like this traditional, this is also very heteronormative, the more masculine, the more feminine, this sort of like, not dominating, submission. That's like the man submits to no, it's not for you. And it's not gonna work for you. No matter how hard someone makes you try to fit into this dynamic, it is not going to work. You need multiple people. That's just who you are. You could also be like moving very fluidly through your own gender expression. And so you just need a space that is going to be able to support you in that, either as you're experimenting, if this is a long-term thing, whatever. That's what's happening here. And likely you are just looking back on all of this compulsory stuff. The compulsory heteronormativity. The compulsory, it has to be one man and one, it's a lie. It is not everyone's preference. It is not everyone's truth, authenticity, or destiny. So We're going around one more time. Yes, and then we will pull one more card for you. It's happening, babe. Whatever it is, because we're going to be getting more on this in the future as well, likely when I also open up and invest in some more cleared up decks and things like that, things that like more support that sort of energy. We have here, you're coming in, like whatever family, throuple, community that is going to facilitate this happiness for you, it will be happening. Okay, and so we have one more card here, and then we are going to move into short-term and long-term preparation for these waves of union and public cat ass. Come on, Dasa. Das. Anyway, just know that it is going to happen for you. Yeah, King, like it's just, hey. Oh, you see how Dasa snapped at this? She snapped at this King of Swords. There's someone who potentially wants to hold you back. Get away from that person. This is like a divorce or something like that. Dasa does not like this energy. She snapped at it. She's a very strong-willed being. So, yeah, we need to, like, there's someone who's trying to, like, keep you from doing this. But what I'm telling you is that you know what's right for you. Like, just leave. I don't care if this person's coming to apologize to you or try to like restart something with you. It's a no. It's a no. They're just simply not in alignment. They're likely the person that's trying to force you into the thing that's just not going to work for you. All right, so now we are moving into short-term and long-term prep. This is preparation for these unions. There are those of you who will be experiencing this sooner than others. Don't worry about it if you are in the long-term preps, okay? It's not a big deal. Like, isn't that kind of worth the gestation of that manifestation? I think so. Especially since y'all are doing such important work here. Okay, so short-term and then long-term, please. Yes, patience will be required for the long-term people. But we have people taking action here. Okay, people are going to be revealing themselves, blah, 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 blah. All right, short-term prep work. Give me the cards so we can close out of this because it's freaking long. Whoa! Yes, there's the union. All right, so short-term prep work. In order to facilitate the union, you need to be in carefree energy. If you know you have any internal conflicts, you're really stuck on some sort of past narrative with a past person or whatever, you need to bring your awareness to that particular energetic conflict, because while it is not going to stop the unions from coming in if you are on the closest wave, it's going to make things more turbulent. Like, you're going to get like, you just want to clear up the turbulence, okay? It kind of like, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but like, if you just want the most direct path of energy, clear up that energetic interference. It's not something that's in your material environment. It's something that is in your inner space. If you want this in your materiality the quickest, all right? Let me get one on this Hermit. Or it's two on this Hermit. Yeah, it's something that, like, I don't know that you're in direct denial about it, but there may be just some things, like, in your, like, deep down that maybe we aren't seeing or we don't want to see. Please shine a light on those things. Journal, meditation, okay? This is not super significant stuff that's going to, like, oh, it's going to ruin everything. No, that's not it. It's just that you just want the most free-flowing energy, all right? For your long-term prep, patience is required for these manifestations of these particular unions, okay? Because they're significant. And the calibration of energies needs to be the most, correct is the wrong word, but like conducive for the union, okay? So for our long-term prep work, yes, because you're prepping for this. That's very stable and wonderful. And right now, you know, we might be in a little bit of immature energy. And that is okay. Perhaps we're still a little bit selfish. Perhaps we're still in our whore phase. Perhaps we're not quite ready for the amount of discipline that a partnership like this would require. That's okay. It doesn't mean it's not coming in for you, but you need to work. Like, this energy is not conducive to support that. Whether you are in, like, man, woman, I don't care who it is, all right? There's like a selfishness and a withholding here that is going on. You might be entertaining multiple options still. You might be withholding your energy for a specific reason. Like, I'm not sure, but you need to wake up to that and you need to balance it out, okay? Because I'm just seeing all these pages. There's just like, there's immaturity, and it's not just with y'all. It's like on both sides of these connections. It's just simply, it is not the season. It is not the season. Like more of the hoe phase might be necessary. More of therapeutic work or healing work might be necessary to balance these things out. And you don't want to try to come into union before the season, right? So let's see here. Yes, there's something about, there's like no. It's like saying no. It's like this is especially if you are very thirsty for a relationship. A very, like, I really want this. Like, if you know that you are feeling that way, that is okay. But it's like, no. No, you see his hand, no. The systems required for these unions to come into fruition are telling you no. Whatever energy you are currently in, that is not the energy that is conducive to this. And it is going to take some time for the partnership to come in because of whatever that energy is. So you are being stopped for your own benefit, okay? This is also, you may believe that you want a specific type of relationship, and part of this unfolding is going to be realizing that, like, the type of relationship that you think you want is actually not the relationship for you. And that's not something that you have to realize, like, right now. You're like, oh no, bitch, I know what relationship I want. Okay, that's fine. But if you aren't on this upcoming wave, like, you know, maybe loosen up. But likely it will just organically happen for you as time goes on. So what is, like, yeah, there's something in your energy that needs to be sorted out here. There's just like an over something going on. It could be a lot of different things. Like, we're just keeping this brief because I promise you, you will be getting more reads coming in for you to help you sort that out. This is something, though, that you very much want. Like I said, there's like a thirst on this. It's like you're too desirous of it, and therefore the energetic pressure that you are placing on it is actually killing it off instead of allowing it to open up. And pretty much everyone goes through that. So I'm not trying to tell you that saying like you're bad and wrong, okay? Like, no, it's just, it is what it is. Yes, time is required here. Time is required. There are certain, like, when I'm saying self-deception, there are certain things that just, like, you have not realized about yourself yet. Like, it is likely you are not operating in your full authenticity. And so you're not going to want the relationship to, like, it's just, it can't happen. It can't happen with that. There are certain things that you need to understand about yourself in relationship with others. And once you get that truth, then over time, you are going to see the results that you want. It's just not now. So wait, can we have some active information for preparatory work? Because I feel like that's just delivering a message to these people. It's energetic work. It's going to look different for all of you. It's just that we have that Temperance card. Like, all you would really need to do is set the intention, right, for the balancing. And likely that is just going to manifest for you as you go. But I'm going to close this out. Likely we will be getting more information on these unions as we are headed throughout 2024, right? Okay.